Hey guys, Logan from the Wilsey Farm channel here, and today, as you can see, I'm up on the roof again. And what I'm doing, as you can see right there behind me, that black strip, I'm stripping the roof off right now, and I'm going to be replacing it with a snap block standing seam, a lot like what's on the sap house, except it's going to be black for the house here. So the only tool you need really to strip a roof, it's pretty simple, is just either a hammer and one of these, and that's called a roofing spade. As you can see, the teeth on here are meant to pop roofing nails out. So unless you have anything that's screwed down, like screw down metal or something like that, this is what you're going to be using if it's held down with roofing nails. So it's pretty simple. I'll show you guys just quick how I do one of them. You want to always start from the top down too, because the roof is laid from the bottom up. So if you start top down, you're working the same way or the opposite way that they laid it, so it comes up easier. You can get to the nails and everything easier. Always start with the ridge cap and then pick a side and just work down it. And work down one lane at a time, because especially with tiles like this, they're tied together. I'll show you in 1 second after I pull one off. But once you get the right side of the groove and the right side of whichever one lands on top, and you can keep working that way, then it's just going to get easier and easier as you make more room to work on the top of the roof. So right now I'm kind of standing on the back side of the roof and peeling the front down. But once I get a few more rows on it, I'll be able to stand right on the front and just move this whole thing down. So let me show you how one comes off quick. Then here's our tile right there. As you can see, it's got some good depth to it. And here's what I'm talking about with these grooves, how this one was the leading edge when they were setting it, so the next one locked onto that. So if I would have started with this one before the one I did before this, I wouldn't have been able to get this one out because it would have been locked still. And this is the other side, the overlap side. You can see that one's easy to pop right off. And these things leaked really bad. They're terrible. As you can see, it slides up under the one before it and then locks on the two sides. But this thing is probably, I would say, about 35 years old. And they're just beaten, you know. They really don't have a shot anymore. So as I'm stripping this, I'll give you a quick time lapse and then I'll show you how I'm going to cover it up for the night. Alright, phone took a dive off the roof. It's not going back up there. You got a short little time lapse. I'll just show you how it looks when it's all stripped. Hey guys, so phone got pretty beat up. It's all smashed up and everything, so the new one should be here Monday. But just while I'm doing the back half of the roof here, because I didn't really get a good shot of the front of the roof, but it's all covered now with ice and water shield, so I'll show you that when the new phone gets here. But if you guys can see, this is what it looks like. I'm not sure how clear it is, my camera's all cracked, but it's wood decking here. 5/4 boards that are nailed down as sheathing. But this is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I have to get this in here because just in case any of you are ever running into replacing your roof or having someone replace your roof, underneath the aluminum on this side is shingles, asphalt shingles. Why people do this, I don't know. It's something a lot of times people think saves them money, is not stripping their roof. Right here, I have 3 layers of asphalt shingles underneath the aluminum roof that's on top of it. Don't let anyone do this to your house, please. If you're doing it yourself, strip the shingles off. I mean, the only reasons why you would be replacing your roof is either 1, it's worn out, or 2, it's leaking somewhere. So if you don't strip it, how do you know that you're even fixing the problem, where the problem is, or how big the problem is? We've been to plenty of houses before where they thought it was a small leak. They fixed the cosmetic things and they went about their life, and we go ahead and pull it apart and it's all moldy and rotten. So if you're doing your roof over, you don't want to have to go back and do it again. So just take your time, strip the thing off. Don't let anyone tell you it's actually better to leave it there, because it's not. It's really not. and your house doesn't need all that extra weight on top of it. So never let someone do this to your house, guys. It's a pain in the butt to get off because now I got 3 times as many nails on top of all the aluminum nails that pulled through the aluminum shingles. So if you're getting your roof redone, make sure that you do it once. You don't want to have to keep coming back up here. So I'm going to strip the rest of it, and then I'll get more shots when the new phone comes. All right, guys, new phone's here. I got the back of the roof stripped, as you can see, all the way down. And then here's the bathroom that was covered in 3 layers of shingles. Super hot. I don't know why every day that I come out here to work on this, it's so hot. And it's right in the sun. So it's about 2 o'clock right now. I think it's probably the hottest time to be out here. But I got to get this covered up because there's a bunch of rain supposedly coming tomorrow. So I'm going to put the ice and water shield on right after I just sweep the roof off quick. And I'm going to show you guys, we start down at the bottom and we're going to work our way up to the top of the roof. And it just comes out better like that. This is how I did the front. We'll go up over here. And you can see there's the front. I did all horizontal. And the roof down here, the bathroom, I chose to do vertical just because it's a little bit sketchy by yourself on those like short roofs where you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. This one will be a little bit better, so I'm just going to sweep this off and then I'll show you how to get started. Alright, so here we are. Here's the first 2 strips down over to the valley, and you can see I just ran them up the valley like that. Gave it about a foot overlap. So now we're going to come over to this side right there, and what we're going to do is on the other down at the bottom right there and over there, I'm going to measure up 35 inches because this is a 36-inch roll, and I'm going to snap a line across that to keep my first row straight, and then the next are just going to follow that. So I'm going to make my marks, and then I'm going to tack this sheet. There's the roll right here. I'm going to tack that across the top right on the line, and then I'm going to peel and stick the bottom first, then the top, and then after you get the first one on, obviously you have some working room and it goes a lot easier, but just getting the first one on is a pain. Okay, now that we have the first row on, you can see there, we're going to take the next row and line up with this dotted line right here. And we just want to tack the top corner like that. And we're going to run it down the roof this way. And then about every 6 feet or so, we're going to put a little cluster of staples only in the top. Now this, on this line here, has a split release all the way down the roll. And what that does is it helps to take the back paper off in 2 pieces. So after you release it, you'll have the top and the bottom piece. So we tack the top because that's going to get overlapped. And it doesn't matter if we have a bunch of staple holes in it. So we're going to work the bottom first. So let's just run this roll out. We'll get it stapled in place where it needs to go, and then we'll start working the bottom. Okay, so now if we go over to where the line is, and we peel back this paper, just a little bit. And we're just gonna give it a little starting rip. You'll see this little yellow line right there? You're gonna fish that out with your fingernail, and then that's a little piece of cordage that will pull out, and we'll cut this paper on the back only into 2 pieces. So we'll dig that out and then I'll show you. Alright, so here you can see I have the ripcord in my hand, and here you can see the line that it makes in the paper to cut that. So we're going to run down to the other end here, and then we'll start sticking the bottom. Okay, so there we have the bottom row is stuck, and you can see about every 2 feet or so I went ahead and put a staple in, and that's just to keep the wind from picking this up. Obviously you don't want to put a lot in the bottom because nothing's covering those staple holes. You know, it is self-healing, but you really only want to staple the crap out of the top right here, because that's going to get covered, and that's really what you want to hold. So alright, now that we have the bottom nice and stuck and creased into the valley well, and you can see it comes out fairly flat, guys, for the fact that I'm doing this by myself. If you have another person, it obviously is much easier, and you don't have to get so many wrinkles in it. But we're gonna stick the top, and then we can finally run a piece end to end, completing the top of the valley. Here we go. All right, so now you can see we got the valley creased up good there. And you can see I'm really stapling this thing off. And this is how you want to peel this stuff, guys, is from this middle corner out like this on an angle, because if you peel straight back and you just pull on itself, it's going to end up ripping in here. And once this side's already stuck, it's really hard, especially on these hot days, to get back in there. For anyone that's worked with this stuff, you know how tough it is. It's like tar once the paper's off of it. So if you're working by yourself, guys, this is the best way to do it. Just tack it straight, attach the bottom down, and then do the top last. Because as you're pulling this paper back, like this, you can see when we get to these tacks, we just pop up the membrane, because these are going to get covered, so it doesn't matter that there's holes in it. You pull up on an angle like this, and then you work the ice and water from the middle up. And that gets it nice and tight. And you don't end up with any wrinkles until you start walking on it when it's hot. Obviously it droops from the weight of me on the pitch of the roof. All right, guys, we got water coming tomorrow morning, so I better get going. All right, guys, dripping sweat. The roof is done. The front, there's the back. You can see I used a different type of paper there for the top because I ran out of the grease. That's GAF brand. And I actually think I like this stuff better because it's a little bit thicker and it's not quite as sticky as the grease is. That grease, when it touches anything, just sticks. And so then I took the last sheet from the front here and just folded it right over the back. So now the ridge is all tight. Well, the roof is all stripped, guys. We're ready for metal. I'm really excited to get this done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks, guys. Later.